Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. We have Primrose up there. I wish you guys could see her better. She's adorable. She's over a year old now. Her birthday was in July. Um, Maybe if I move this way, you could still see her. I'm doing the nostalgia tag. It was originally created by Noah at Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. This tag has been around. I actually noticed that September 22nd, it will have been around for a year. So it only took me a year to get to it. I wasn't tagged, but I told Noah back then that I was looking forward to doing it, and the I just haven't found. I still haven't found everything, but I found enough. So I'm excited to do it. I think it's a wonderful tag, and of course I'll link it down below. Um, Excuse any noises. I have people, family that I live with now. Um, so it's an adjustment. Okay, anyway, number one, oldest book from your life that you still own. And I still have a couple of boxes that of books, but I think the oldest book I still own is Sappho and the Greek lyric poets. I've had this since I was a teenager. I think I have. No, I didn't write it down, but I did write that I read it. I was a teenager, maybe 14, 15, when I found Sappho. And there's Rollo. And she changed the way that I see poetry. And it's going to be an entertaining day, I believe. Anyway, yeah, so Sappho, this is the oldest book that I own. Number two, first loved library book. That would be, which I can't remember the first loved library book really, but I do remember in fourth grade we had to do a book report, and the teacher said, go to the library and pick out a book to do a book report on. And I found a book about Hatshepsut, who was a female pharaoh and an amazing woman. I didn't realize it was playtime today. Um, anyway, so she was amazing, fantastic. First time. That's actually when I started to fall in love with history, learning about how things could be different. Okay. Oh dear. Number three, a book given to you. Let me see here. I have two for this. One of them was Angie and I. We share a birthday. We're a day apart, same year, day apart. Angie over at Literary Labors, and she was so kind enough to send me El Paso by Winston Groom, and so thank you so much, Angie. And another book that was gifted to me was The New Confessions by William Boyd, and Mark over at Book Time with Elvis was so sweet to send this to me. And this will be my first William Boyd to read, so I'm excited about that. So thank you. Okay, number four, a book recommended to you. Well, I've had a ton of books recommended to me. I actually made a video last year about guys about please recommend books to me. So I have a huge list and I've read so many books. But since Noah created this video, I will use the two books he's recommended to me that I have not read yet. And that is The Violent Bear It Away by Flannery O'Connor and War in Heaven by Charles Williams. So two books that have been recommended to me last year and I need to get to this year at some point. Number five, a buddy read text. So talking about buddy reads. So the first time, growing up, he's by himself. Just to let you know, this is Rollo, and he plays by himself. So it sounds like he's getting into all kinds of madness, but it's just him playing by himself. There's nothing really going on. Anyway, so my first buddy read was with Noah and a fantastic group of people, and we read A Hundred Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. It was such a great introduction to buddy reads on BookTube. I don't know if you can hear him speaking, but anyway, my mom and my brother were readers. My sister's a reader, so I have had many buddy reads. My mom, she taught us. I didn't go to high school. We were homeschooled, so we had to read a ton of books together. My sister, she's a reader. She'll send me books. I send her books that we'll, talk about, discuss. I'm wanting to start like a kind of like a book club with just my mom and my niece and make videos for that. So hopefully that works out. Um, let's see here. So one of my favorite buddy reads um, was Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons. And I did not love this book, but I love Mark over at Book Time with Elvis. So, and this is actually how we got to talking and became great friends. So I'm very thankful for this buddy read that I had with him. Okay, let's see. Number 6, books introduced to in school. Um, let's see. We had, I don't know if I grabbed any of them, but in school we had Where the Red Fern Grows, which it broke my heart. I absolutely loved it. Hatchet, I have it somewhere by Gary Paulson. Let me see here if there was any. Oh, I mean, of course, Edgar Allan Poe. I was in 5th or 6th grade when we started reading this in school. We listened to the audio of The Pit and the Pendulum. Changed my world. I do actually have the original Edgar Allan Poe book that I had as a teenager, but I wanted to show you this beautiful edition that I got for $3.99 at Ollie's. So if you have an Ollie's near you, check out their books. Let me see here if there's any other school books. No, I don't think so. Oh, here's a book that I read I audited a college class when I was 15, and we read Looking Backward by Edward Bellamy. And that was the first time I realized that something in the past, written in the past, some of it still stands today. And he wrote about things that um, he was ahead of his time, I believe. Okay, let me see here. Number 7, genre fiction that inspires nostalgia. I am all over the place with my reading and genres that I love. I love all different types of books. So when I think about genre, I don't know since I love everything, but I do remember um, The Dark Half. I'm not into horror, but I love Stephen King. I read this when I was 14, and it took me into that genre. But I'm very particular about what kind of horror I like. So, and yeah, I don't know. The Lord of the Rings, of course. I always have nostalgia with that. This is the Fellowship of the Ring. It took me to a place of fantasy. I love fantasy. So, okay, let me see here. 8, literary works that inspires nostalgia. Let me see. Oh, I was going to talk about that with my sister. The Color Purple by Alice Walker. Absolutely love this book. This book um, taught me so many things about, the human experience, and I love the writing. I think it may have been the first time where I have read a book that was through letter form, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love Alice Walker. Okay, number 10, or number 9, spiritual text that inspires nostalgia. So, um, I love Philip Gulley. but I didn't find him. Maybe I found him 20 years ago. So I don't know if I should mention him. But when I think of spirituality, I think of nature. And this is a book I found when I was really young. The Legacy of Luna, The Story of a Tree, a Woman, and the Struggles to Save the Redwoods by Julia Butterfly Hill. Books like this, being in nature, makes me feel very spiritual. So this is one that always, every time I pick it up, I think of being a teenager and my mind being open to what's important in life and how we need to, some things are sacred. See, another one is Anything with Jane Goodall. I mean, I found her at a young age, of course, because I love animals so much. And so, yeah, this is a guide to mindful eating, but honestly, anything by Jane Goodall brings up this nostalgia of who I would love to be and how I would like to make the world a better place in the little ways that I can. Let's see, number 10, tag some readers. Well, I'm adding some things to this tag. So Noah, I believe you said earlier that we were allowed to do this. So I have a couple of questions for people that I would like to add on. So instead of tag 10, well, I'll just go ahead and keep 10 as tag some people, but we'll do like number 11. Was there a book that was banned to you growing up? And I did not have any books banned to me. My mother, we actually went to the library when we had there was like a banned book month, and we would read the books that were banned to, I don't know, to be rebellious or whatever. Like How to Eat Fried Worms and, all those books that were banned, we had to read. That was part of our thing. But there was one book my mom banned from my brother, and that was Will the Nurse Make Me take my underwear off? And it was hilarious. Like I mean, it's so great. I haven't read it as an adult, but oh my gosh, it made me laugh so much. And I read it, and my brother read it, and we would talk about it. And my mom's like, "Give me that book. I don't want you reading it." So it's funny. It was a one time ever. Let me see here. Another question I have for people is, when was the first time, or what was the first book um, that you read where you could feel that the author was from a place that you were not from? Like a different country, or you knew they had so many different experiences than you did, because you could feel something in the writing that was different than what you were used to. And for me, it would be Isabel Allende. Not this book. This is my favorite book by her. But I remember reading House of Spirits, and I got this feeling in her writing that I thought, oh, this is different from anything I've read before. So I'm curious to hear what other people. I'm sure other people have found at a younger age, was into reading more and different things. Also, I wanted to share something that I could not find. I always shared books with my grandma until, I mean, she started to get dementia and couldn't read anymore. But even then, I would take her books because she liked having them near her. But she was like a minimalist, so she didn't really own any books or anything. But she used to read books that I would bring her, and then she would write down what she liked or different quotes, and she would slip them into the books for me so that later I would find them. So I wanted to share that with you, even though I couldn't find any of them because I slipped them back in different books. But I wanted to share a book. The question is, like, have you ever found anything in books, whether it was an inscription or letters or anything like that? And do you have a favorite book because of that? And I have a favorite book, and this is Hercule Poirot. I'm probably mispronouncing that, by Agatha Christie. I found this a long time ago at a book sale, and inside it says, "To my darling wife, with all my love, Johnny." And then there's a note that says, I have not read this book, Betty. We can read it together in the future. I love you, Jack. So of course, I have not read this edition. This is just a bind up of a bunch of different Agatha Christie stories, but I have read some of the stories that are in it. I will not read them out of here because this is like my precious. Like Gollum has his ring. I have this book that will always be with me. It'll go wherever I go. Let me see here, and I have one more question. Do you have any upcoming reads that you feel like will bring you nostalgia? And I do. Next month, I plan to dig into the best of Richard Matheson. I've only read the very first story, and it was so strange, but I don't know if any of you guys used to watch The Twilight Zone. There's an episode that has always stuck with me of where this man is on a plane, and he looks out the window and he sees something on the wing, and it's like destroying the wing. That's Richard Matheson. So every time I think about, it brings this nostalgia of when I was a kid watching that and being terrified of what would you do. So I have a ton of other stack of books here. I guess I'll share it another time because apparently I didn't feel like they needed to be said today. Anyway, tagging. If I mentioned you, you were tagged. So many people have done this tag already. So I'm going to list some people. If you've done it, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If you haven't, I would love to. I would love to. I would love for everybody to do it. But so if I mentioned you, you're tagged. I know I mentioned Mark at Book Time with Elvis. Now I'm forgetting. Well, Angie at Literary Labors, Deanna at Pato the Reader, um, Greg at Another Bibliophile Read. I don't think you've done it. Matthew at Bottle and Books. I think you may have done this tag already. Let me see here. Oh gosh, there's so many new booktubers to me also that I would love to see do this. I just can't think of their names off the top of my head because I've been away from BookTube for a while. Anyway, thank you so much for doing this tag, Noah. It's fantastic. Sorry the video is so long, it's almost 18 minutes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you guys don't have a channel and you want to answer any of these questions, please leave your answers down below. I'd love to hear anything, nostalgic you would like to share with me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.